Hello, and welcome to Barely Afraid. Today, we slide into some of the most jaw-dropping sightings and encounters ever recorded of the legendary king of the cryptid world, Bigfoot. Shuffling in, we arrive once again in the great state of Oregon. After going for a nature hike, a person began to feel like they were not alone. Initially not too spooked, they took a moment to catch their breath and scan their surroundings. When no immediate threats seemed to present themselves, ease came over the hiker once again. However, before they were able to continue their hike, they noticed something out of the corner of their eye. Standing just a few yards away was a large Sasquatch who apparently had the same idea of going for a nature hike this day. Almost immediately, the hiker began to hyperventilate, and as they put it, freak out. In a panicked manner, the hiker pulled out their phone and snapped the following picture. Zooming in, you can see what appears to be the face of the Sasquatch. Going down the body, you can see where the lower body splits into two, which would be the apparent Sasquatch's legs. Many believers online point out that it almost seems like Sasquatch is simply watching the hiker, almost like it just wanted to see what it was up to. This does follow suit to most Bigfoot lore, where it's said that a Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, will usually leave you alone unless you've stumbled onto their territory. While most Bigfoot seem to simply watch unseen, there are the rare cases that a Bigfoot will aggressively throw rocks or tree branches as signal to get out or leave the area to unwanted visitors. This doesn't seem to be one of those situations. The hiker was said to just be having a casual hike. Perhaps the Sasquatch was simply confirming the hiker wasn't up to no good. Of course, the skeptics of the world claim it's a man in a suit. Some point out the lack of definition in the stomach and upper thigh area. Not to mention this photo is, of course, blurry. With no more information at this point, we'll leave it to you to decide. Did this hiker simply bring a friend with a suit? Or were they visited by an actual Sasquatch on this hike? The choice is left in your hands. Crashing in, we wind up in the Lone Star State, Texas, where a group of friends having a day out have apparently captured a Bigfoot accidentally on camera. This was uploaded on October 20th, 2025. The story behind this sighting comes from this account on TikTok. The uploaders were out enjoying their Can-Am while recording. While at a standstill, they kept the camera rolling. It's in this instance that they unknowingly recorded the big man on a seemingly casual stroll. After a moment or two, our uploaders restart their journey and zoom off into the Texas wilderness.
What's the horsepower on this thing? 300. I think it's probably about 150. What do you think?
Fuck you. I'm about to do a four-wheel launch, bro.
Alright, show me what you got. Yeah, right.
Alright.
Let's do it.
Later, they posted the footage to their account, still seemingly oblivious to what they had captured on camera. Not long after, though, someone commented asking if they realized what they'd captured. In a follow-up video, this is what they had to say.
Hey TikTok, Alien Nick here, Alien Language Band, Alien Language Records, y'all. We found Bigfoot in Jefferson, Texas. So this is the video that we shot when I was out on my buddy Christian's land. We were riding around on his Can-Am, and Dr. Jones was with us, and we were just trying to mess with him, scare him on the Can-Am. And anyways, they were parked and they were shooting a video about riding around, and in the background that we didn't even notice was this figure walking across the way. And we didn't even see it until after I upload the video and somebody else points it out to us. So y'all, what do you think? Bigfoot? We were on private property. There's no way there was anybody out there that we wouldn't have known about.
Whether or not this is real seems tough to say, but that's why we leave that decision in your hands. Does the fact that our uploaders claim they didn't even know they were recording the Bigfoot add more credibility to the sighting? Or does it add more suspicion? Does the fact that they were stopped in the right place at the exact right time lead to coincidental sighting? Or does it lead to planned hoax? Only you can be the judge.
I think it's probably about 150. What do you think?
Fuck you. I'm about to do a four-wheel launch, bro.
Hopscotching our way in, we land back in the sacred state of Oklahoma. A TikTok account uploaded a video from their trail cam of a Bigfoot-like creature wandering the Oklahoma wilderness. The story goes that one night our Sasquatch hunters went to retrieve their trail cameras that they had set way off in the deep Oklahoma wilderness. On the way to gather their equipment, they came upon an area filled with bones and remains of animals and victims, as they put it, of what seemed to be a large creature or predator. They recall that as they continued deeper toward their trail cam, they began to realize something was moving through the trees just as they were. After retrieving their equipment, they reviewed the footage and were all amazed and shocked at what they had managed to capture. In the video, you can initially see that the trail cam is triggered by what seems to be a deer or similar size animal right at the bottom of the frame. What it captures next is a huge Bigfoot-like specimen seemingly looking for a late-night snack. Going back to the pile of scattered bones and remains, our Bigfoot adventurers seem to think that they had unintentionally happened upon this Bigfoot's hunting grounds, or at the very least, the exact spot that they eat their meals. The uploaders also feel that this creature is what was moving just beyond their sight in the trees as they made their way to the trail camera right after discovering the scattered pile of remains. Looking closely, you can see how muscular and defined the supposed Sasquatch is even though it is nighttime. Zooming into the face, you can see an ape-like face that is usually associated with Bigfoot, not to mention the long arms the figure appears to have. This happened as recently as this month, so as of yet this hasn't been debunked, and many believers believe there is nothing to debunk in the first place. Our uploaders swear this is a 100% real sighting, and honestly Oklahoma is full of Bigfoot sightings, so it wouldn't be much of a stretch. That being said, it's still up to you to decide if what these Bigfoot hunters caught on camera is actually Bigfoot, or something else entirely different. Before going into the next sighting, we'd like to remind everyone that if you have any Bigfoot stories or sightings, we'd love to hear and see them. Feel free to send them in at bearlyafraid@gmail.com. Also check out our brand new store and website. Find out why Bigfoot is always blurry, and pick up a new shirt from our new I Believe collection. Every view, like, and purchase helps the channel, and allows us to keep bringing you the best Bigfoot sightings out there. Thank you again for being a part of our Barely Afraid family. Zigzagging up to the Pacific Northwest, we arrive at one of the most controversial images of this year. While not much is known as to the origins of the photo, we open on a picture that appears to show a slender-looking Sasquatch traversing through the forest. Looking closely, you can see what seems to be visible leg muscle in the calf area, as well as a strong upper thigh. The shoulder and neck area also appears to be sturdy and defined. So why all the debating regarding the image? Well, in the usual war of skeptic versus believer, this picture has produced good debating points for both sides. Starting first with the skeptics' arguments, they highlight the fact that this arm appears to be very unproportional to the other arm, with that arm being noticeably shorter. Traveling up to the neck area, many skeptics point out that Bigfoot are usually said to have a sunken-in, thick neck. While this neck is definitely thick, it's actually elongated. This is very different than how Bigfoot is often depicted. Regarding the area around it, there seems to be some inconsistent points of focus with the tree branches both here and here. It appears that this branch comes from a tree that is in front of the all-age Sasquatch, but you can see that it appears this branch seems to be behind the big creature's leg. And the same thing can be said for the branch at the head of the being. Perhaps the biggest point of argument, though, is that the feet of this Bigfoot aren't, well, big. People claim that the feet don't live up to our big friend's name. However, it is the rebuttal of the believers that actually may give this sighting hope. In regard to the many different allegations of the body of this Bigfoot, believers point out that not all Bigfoot will look the same, and why would they? After all, Bigfoot is a species of being the same way humans are. Every Bigfoot will look different rather than all of them being identical clones how some people claim them to be. I mean, there's proof of this all over the world. Bigfoot variants roam every part of the globe, and the same can be said for North America, where the Pacific Northwest is located. The believers point out that perhaps this Bigfoot is adapted specifically to where they live. As for the arm length, they offer the idea that maybe this Bigfoot could have a disability or may have been maimed. After all, it is important to remember that Bigfoot live in the wild with all the other animals of the forest. Maybe this Bigfoot was a victim of a fight with something just as big as them, or even bigger. As for the tree, the believers call out a poor camera angle, but are more of the mindset that the skeptics are grasping at straws with that claim. Here recently, AI speculation officially made its way to the party, but more and more people have landed on the theory this is a painting or poorly done overlay of a Photoshop chimpanzee. However, we gladly leave this decision up to you. Is this a Photoshop fake? Is it a painting or AI configuration? Or is this just a different specimen of Bigfoot we've never seen before? The conclusion is up to you. Crawling in, we travel down to the lower eastern state of the United States, Florida, where a Bigfoot cousin or variant is said to rule unchallenged. That variant being the skunk ape, of course. In this video, it appears that someone or something is trudging through the swamps of the Lettuce Lake Park. As the camera steadies, you can see the figure appear to catch a snake thought to be the unknown figure's dinner. Watching on first glance, the person originally thought that this was a bear. Although Florida isn't as populated with bears as some of the United States, it isn't impossible to see black bears wandering around in some nature parks and areas. Later on, the person would ask a park ranger if they thought this was a bear, to which the ranger would then reply that it definitely wasn't a bear, and that they didn't know what that was. If the park ranger's statement wasn't enough, it's this frame that has skeptics and believers looking closely. Zooming in, you can see what appears to be an ape-like face. The person recording this stated that the figure actually looked over at them a few times before seemingly losing interest and walking away to a deeper part of the swamp, but that's not all they said. The person then goes on to recollect that the figure not only walked through the thick swamp with ease, but it actually disappeared under the water. Of course, we don't see this in the video, but it points right at the skunk ape being the culprit, as it would be extremely unlikely for a bear to willingly submerge itself under the swampy habitat. After all, the skunk ape is said to be a mysterious creature that roams the swamps of Florida. Often described as a smaller, leaner version of Bigfoot, it stands around 6 to 7 feet tall, covered in dark or reddish hair, with glowing red eyes and a powerful, foul odor that earns its name. Sightings often describe it moving quietly through the Everglades, leaving behind large footprints and a lingering stench. Perhaps that stench can be associated with it not only trudging through the swamp, but willingly swimming in it. We've covered skunk apes on the channel before, but this could give that sighting even more evidence and proof. What do you think? Is this the skunk ape capturing its dinner before disappearing off to its unknown swampy lair? Or was it just another wild Floridian that was spending a day in the swamp? You decide. Entering the frame, we settle on down in the state of Idaho in the Frank Church Wilderness. Happening on the 12th of October, 2025, a man was walking through the woods on a chilly night when out of the corner of his eye he noticed two dark figures walking in a small clearing. After looking a little closer, he realized just what he could be looking at, and pulled out his camera to record the following. What it is believed that he captured is a Bigfoot with their small child, a little foot if you will. This is definitely one of the more up-close sightings, and while some people and believers are ecstatic because of this sighting, there are the ones who point out that this seems a little too good to be true. To support this claim, skeptics highlight this key frame right here. Our Bigfoot creature appears to glitch, slightly hinting at this being a product of AI rather than actual real life. Of course, this claim isn't being taken lightly, and the believers of the world have chosen their main weapon of choice to combat this claim. That weapon would be, of course, the interdimensional being theory. We've talked a lot about this theory on the channel, and long story short, this theory simply states that Bigfoot is a being that can travel between dimensions, which is why there is no physical evidence of them anywhere, as they are able to phase in and out of our dimension. This is also why they're never usually caught on camera, and even when they are, the film is always blurry. That being because they exist on different frequencies of matter, rather than ones we or our cameras can perceive naturally. With that said, we ask you, is this an interdimensional being taking their interdimensional child for a walk? Or is this something far more simple? Something as simple as two Bigfoot suits, and a few humans staging an elaborate hoax once again. You choose. Crossing over into the north, we arrive in Alberta, Canada, right near Nordegg. A big game hunter was scouting a particular area in the Canadian wilderness when they came upon a large structure made from fallen and broken tree branches and limbs. This, of course, caught his interest and curiosity, so they set up a trail camera in hopes of seeing what called this place home. Of course, the hunter couldn't have imagined just what they'd end up capturing. A few hours later, his trail cam sent the following video to his phone. In the video, you can see a large Bigfoot-like being that has apparently focused in on the newly placed trail camera. Zooming in, it's hard to make out any distinct facial figures, but one thing is for sure. This is definitely not a bear. After a while, you can see the Bigfoot-like being walk off to the right of the frame. Not long after, the hunter lost connection with their newly placed trail cam. Understandingly, a little bit lost for understanding, the hunter didn't go investigate right away. Instead, they returned 1 week later with a hunting partner to investigate the spot and the sighting. Upon arrival, they realized the spot looks noticeably different now, and the tree that they had originally put the trail camera on is now knocked over. The trail camera has vanished. Going back to the sighting a week prior, some skeptics claim it is just another hunter, or perhaps the hunter that placed the trail camera, wearing a ghillie suit. If it is another hunter, then perhaps they weren't happy to see that someone else had planted a trail cam at their spot. Whether it was a hunter or not, one thing is for sure, and that is that this figure, whether Bigfoot or not, was not excited at the idea of having a camera spying on their every move. It is said that the hunter and his hunting partner planted 2 more trail cameras, this time better hidden, with the hopes of capturing the mysterious Bigfoot-like creature once again. After all, Canada is one of the biggest Bigfoot hotspots in the entire world. Is it really such a bad idea to say this could be a Bigfoot that prefers to be behind the camera rather than in front of it? Is this hunter barking up the wrong tree? There's an age-old saying that goes like this: be careful what you go looking for because you just might find it. If you enjoyed tonight's countdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Have a creepy clip or ghost encounter of your own? Drop it in the comments or send it to our email that just might appear in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your lights on tonight. You never know what might be standing in the dark.